Welcome back, coin collectors and history enthusiasts. Today we're diving into one of the most fascinating coins from American numismatic history, the 1941 Liberty 1-cent wheat penny, a coin that continues to capture the imagination of collectors worldwide. At first glance, it may look like just another ordinary penny from your pocket change. But don't be fooled. Some of these coins are now considered treasures worth upwards of $500,000 and even beyond into the millions under certain rare conditions. So sit back as we uncover the history, the details, and the true potential market value of the 1941 wheat penny. Let's begin with a bit of history. The Lincoln Wheat Cent series started in 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. For the first time, a real person, one of America's most respected presidents, appeared on a circulating U.S. coin. The reverse of this penny displayed two simple wheat stalks, symbolizing prosperity and the agricultural backbone of the United States, hence the name wheat penny. By the time 1941 came around, the United States was on the brink of entering World War II. Resources like copper and tin were increasingly important for the war effort, and this had an impact on coinage. The 1941 cent was still struck in its original bronze alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, but just 2 years later, in 1943, the U.S. Mint switched to steel cents to save copper for wartime needs. This historical backdrop gives the 1941 penny a unique place in American coinage. It represents the final years before dramatic changes in U.S. minting materials. Now let's talk about minting and varieties. The 1941 wheat penny was struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D; and San Francisco, S. Combined, over 1 billion pennies were minted in 1941, which makes this coin fairly common in circulated condition. However, the story doesn't end there. The value lies in the details, conditions, and errors. Coins graded in higher conditions, especially uncirculated mint state examples, can bring staggering prices at auctions. For instance, a 1941 S penny graded in MS 67 plus red has sold for tens of thousands of dollars. But in the world of rare numismatics, it's the unique errors and flawless gems that can command life-changing prices. Collectors and dealers especially look for errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, RPMs, and wrong planchet errors. For example, if a 1941 wheat penny was struck on a silver dime planchet, or if it has dramatic doubling in the date or lettering, its rarity skyrockets. Some of these rare error coins are what collectors and headlines refer to when talking about values soaring into the hundreds of thousands, even millions. Imagine a simple penny from 1941, worth just 1 cent back then, now selling in the range of $500,000 to over $1 million depending on rarity, provenance, and demand. So how does a coin like this reach such value? There are a few key factors: rarity, unique errors, or very low surviving populations in high grade. Condition coins graded MS 67 or higher, especially with full red luster, are immensely rare. Demand: collectors love wheat pennies, and the 1941 is historically significant. Auction competition: when multiple wealthy collectors bid for the same coin, the price can skyrocket. As of the current market, a typical circulated 1941 penny is worth just a few cents, maybe 25 to 50 cents, and higher. Circulated examples bring a few dollars. But the true rarities, gem red uncirculated coins or dramatic errors, are where the money is. Some of these can realistically start in the hundreds of thousands and have been appraised or speculated to reach valuations starting around $0.5 million and climbing higher. That is why the 1941 wheat penny has become one of the most exciting coins for collectors who dream of finding treasure in their change or collections. In conclusion, the 1941 Liberty 1-cent wheat penny is not just a piece of copper. It's a piece of American history. It tells the story of a nation on the verge of war. It represents the artistry of Brenner's design, and it has become a symbol of how something small can hold unimaginable value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting your numismatic journey, always check those pennies. You never know if a 1941 wheat penny hiding in your collection could be the one worth a fortune. So, what do you think about the incredible potential of the 1941 Liberty 1-cent wheat penny? Would you be excited to find one in high grade or with a rare error? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow collectors, and subscribe to stay updated with more fascinating coin stories and hidden treasures. Thanks for watching, and remember, in numismatics, even a penny can be worth millions. Today, we are diving into the fascinating story of one of the last great wheat pennies of American history, the 1958 Liberty 1-cent wheat penny. This coin, minted in Denver, holds not just monetary value, but also an incredible piece of U.S. numismatic history. And believe it or not, certain rare examples of this coin have been reported to be worth big money, starting from around $0.50 million in the high-end market. So, let's uncover the secrets behind this little copper treasure. First, let's step back in time. The Lincoln Wheat Cent series began in 1909, introduced to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse displays Lincoln's iconic profile, while the reverse features two wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. This classic design ran until 1958, making the 1958 wheat penny the final year of the wheat reverse design before the U.S. Mint transitioned to the Lincoln Memorial Cent in 1959. That alone makes this coin historically significant. It marks the end of an era in American coinage. Now, focusing on the 1958 itself, it was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the D mint mark under the date. Over 800 million coins were minted, which means in general circulation, it's not the rarest coin you'll come across. However, rarity in coin collecting isn't always about mintage numbers. It's about condition, errors, and collector demand. High-grade examples, especially those graded MS 66 or MS 67 red, are incredibly valuable today. What makes this coin exciting is the combination of its historical importance, error varieties, and collector demand. Some examples of the 1958 wheat penny have shown off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, and other striking anomalies that dramatically increase their worth. Imagine holding a small copper coin that someone else might overlook, but in the numismatic world, it could sell for life-changing money. In terms of value and market worth, ordinary circulated 1958 wheat pennies are usually worth just a few cents, close to face value. But when you move into uncirculated conditions, the price jumps significantly. A brilliant red, mint state 1958 can fetch hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars. And when we talk about ultra-gem examples certified by top grading services like PCGS or NGC, that's where we enter the realm of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Certain unique or error strike examples are valued starting at $0.50 million and above in private sales and elite auctions. This is where things get truly fascinating, because when a coin is the last of its design series, collectors worldwide scramble to own the finest example available. The 1958 carries that prestige, being the closing chapter of the wheat penny legacy. High-end collectors, museums, and investors all compete, pushing the market value into unbelievable territory. So, why do people pay this much? The answer is passion, rarity, and history. Collectors know that once a coin like this enters a private collection, it may not appear on the market again for decades. That scarcity, combined with historical significance, means the value only climbs higher over time. To sum it up, the 1958 Liberty 1-cent wheat penny may look like a simple copper coin at first glance, but in reality, it represents the end of an era, a collector's dream, and in some cases, a potential $500,000 treasure hiding in plain sight. If you ever come across one in stunning condition, or especially if you spot unusual errors, don't dismiss it as just a penny. You could be holding a piece of American history worth a fortune. So, the next time you check your coin jar or search through old collections, keep your eyes open. You never know when a tiny penny could turn into big money. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1958 wheat penny, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin history and value breakdowns, and share this with fellow collectors. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and maybe, just maybe, you'll find your own hidden treasure.